Hola familia, ¿cómo estamos? Hoy te traigo un vídeo que te va a cambiar la forma de ver el azúcar. Yo cuando vi esta entrevista y me leí sus libros, mi perspectiva, mi forma de ver el azúcar cambió por completo. Y lo que hice fue reducir drásticamente el azúcar. Y en este video sabrás por qué tú también deberías hacerlo. Porque es algo que puede cambiar tu vida, como lo hizo conmigo y millones de personas. Y también sabrás por qué, cómo afecta. Y lo mejor de todo es que no te lo voy a explicar yo, sino Robert Lustig, que es uno de los mejores endocrinólogos y de los más odiados por la élite o bien las farmacéuticas, porque él ha expuesto a estas grandes cadenas de alimentación, sobre todo la que de azúcar, digamos, y es algo que quieren ir contra él, porque si no, no pueden vender que el negocio del azúcar es muy grande, porque también incluye el de la diabetes, el de la insulina y tal. Vamos, que es uno de los negocios más ricos del mundo. Y claro, este doctor te va a explicar cómo y por qué, y lo va a ver ahora.
What's the difference between sugar and fructose?
So, sugar, dietary sugar, the sweet stuff, the crystals, the stuff you put in your coffee.
The stuff I've got over here.
Yeah, like that stuff. Yeah, that stuff. The 5-pound bag right there. That's called sucrose.
Okay, this is sucrose.
This is sucrose. Now, sucrose is two molecules bound together. One molecule called glucose, one molecule called fructose. They are not the same. Now, the food industry will tell you they are the same. They are not the same. The reason they tell you they are the same is because that's the way they assuage their own culpability for what they've done to the food. But they are not the same. They will say, a sugar is a sugar, a calorie is a calorie, a glucose and fructose both have 4 calories per gram. Why should you care? Oh, you care a lot. You care a whole lot. Now, glucose is the energy of life. Every cell on the planet burns glucose for energy. Glucose is so important that if you don't consume it, your body makes it. Okay? The Inuit had no carbohydrate. They had ice. They had whale blubber. They still had a serum glucose level.
Inuits are the people that live in the North Poles and stuff.
That's right. Yeah. They're formerly known as Eskimos. Right? Mm-hmm. But they didn't have any carbohydrate. They ran off fat. But they still had a serum glucose level because your brain runs on glucose. It can also run on ketones too, but your brain runs on glucose. My brain runs on glucose. And you need glucose because certain hormones and certain proteins in the body require glycosylation in order to be effective. An example, LH and FSH. When you don't have glycosylation of LH and FSH, the hormones that tell your testicle and your ovary to work, you are infertile. It's that simple. So survival of the species says you need some glucose, but if you're not consuming it, you'll still get it because your body will make it. Right. It will make it out of amino acids. It will make it out of fat. Gluconeogenesis, it's called. So glucose is essential. It's just not essential to eat. Fructose, on the other hand, the sweet molecule in that bag.
Which is sort of one of the two parts of the grain of sugar that I see.
That's right.
One part of it is fructose.
That's right. It's the other half. Right. It's the evil twin, if you will.
What are the two halves again?
Glucose,
yeah,
fructose.
Cool. Fine.
Bound together.
I need glucose to live. My body will figure that out. Fructose, do I need this?
Not only do you not need it, but in high dose, it's toxic. Now, your liver has the innate ability to metabolize a small amount, on the order of about 6 to 9 teaspoons per day of dietary sugar, so half of that being fructose. So about 12 grams. Your liver can manage about 12 grams of fructose a day. In the same way, it can manage about 12 grams of alcohol per day without showing any signs of any metabolic derangement. But if you go above that, now you get problems.
Are we above that?
Oh, we are so above that. We are at 50 grams of fructose per day, 100 grams of sugar per day. We're supposed to be at 25. We are at 100. We are quadruple our limit.
And also, just because grams are quite hard to wrap the head around, right?
Okay.
So if I was to get a tablespoon...
Well, do teaspoons.
A teaspoon.
2 spoons.
How many teaspoons of sugar would I have to consume to get to that level of fructose? Because I say this in part because most of us don't realize that we're consuming sugar.
That's right, because it's hidden in all of the food. That's exactly right. We don't even know. We say, oh, I never even add sugar to my coffee, therefore my sugar consumption is 0. Wrong. That is not true, okay? Because it is hidden in plain sight in virtually every processed food in the entire grocery store. 73% of all of the items in the American grocery store and in the British grocery store are spiked with added sugar by the food industry for its purposes, not for yours. Because they know when they add it, you buy more.
And how much does that look like in teaspoons then?
The upper limit is about 6 teaspoons of added sugar per day.
The allowance, the recommended allowance.
The upper limit.
Okay.
The recommended allowance is lower than that.
Yeah.
Okay, but the upper limit is about 6 teaspoons of added sugar per day. So in alcohol terms, that'd be like 1 drink. So if you have a drink a day, you're staying below your threshold and all is fine. What if you have 2 drinks per day? Well, it depends on how well your liver works. Maybe how much exercise you have, how much total body mass you have, etc. What about if you have 3 drinks a day? You're going to get pretty tipsy. Maybe you shouldn't be driving a car, right? What if you have 4 drinks per day? You know, they might have to, scrape you off the floor of the bar with a spatula. And what if you have 5 drinks per day? You're a friggin' alcoholic is what you are. All right? The point is, the dose determines the poison. Well, the same is true with sugar. So we have an innate capacity to metabolize about 12 grams of fructose per day. By the way, that's for adults. For children, it's 1/3 of that, 4 grams of fructose per day. Okay, 4 to 6. So we're talking very little, But when you think about, for instance, a kid in America, 29% of kids in America consume the National School Breakfast Program breakfast in school. Okay, 29%. So what is the National School Breakfast Program breakfast? It's a bowl of Fruit Loops and a glass of orange juice. That is 41 grams of sugar. The upper limit for children in terms of their metabolism is 12 grams per day. They got 41 grams, and it's just breakfast. What do you think that's going to do? Now, if a calorie were a calorie, and if glucose and fructose were the same, then you say, well, you got to get your calories somewhere. But because fructose is not glucose, because fructose is more like alcohol, because fructose's toxicity has nothing to do with its calories, that is a huge overdose. And it has metabolic complications, it has systemic health complications, it has mental health complications, and ultimately it has societal complications.
Do you think it has neurological consequences?
Without question. It's the primary driver of ADD. It's not the only driver, but it's one of them.
How do we know that?
It's a primary driver of depression, because we have the data.
As it relates to ADD and ADHD and all those kinds of things, how do we know?
We have functional MRI. We have performance data showing that when you take the sugar out, kids' scores get better. Okay, we did this ourselves at UCSF. We did a study where we took 43 children with obesity and metabolic syndrome, all high sugar consumers, all low socioeconomic status children, Latino and African American, all high sugar consumers. And what we did was we figured out what they were eating on their home diet. we studied them on their home diet. And then for the next 9 days, we catered their meals. No added sugar. We took the added sugar from 28 teaspoons of added sugar per day down to 10. Okay? So huge reduction. We gave them fruit. That was the only place they had sugar in their diet. Otherwise, we cut the sugar out. Now, if you do that, you're going to lose 350 to 400 calories per day out of your diet. All right? So the goal was to keep their weight stable, because if they lost weight, the critics would say, well, of course they got better, they lost weight. So we needed to maintain their weight. So we had to put something back in that was equicaloric. We gave them extra starch. So in the vernacular, we took the pastries out, we put the bagels in. We took the sweetened yogurt out, we put the baked potato chips in. We took the chicken teriyaki out, we put the turkey hot dogs in. So we didn't give them good food, we gave them crappy food. We gave them Safeway food, just CPG, consumer packaged goods food.
Okay, so you didn't give them vegetables?
No, we didn't give them any vegetables.
Okay.
But it was no added sugar food. Okay, and it wasn't funky food, it was just food we bought at Safeway, but it was chosen to not be sugar containing. Okay? And we gave them a scale, and every day we'd call them up on the phone. What'd you weigh? And if they were losing weight, eat more in order to maintain their weight for the whole 10 days of the study. And then we studied them on day 10. Every aspect of their metabolic health improved. Blood pressure went down, blood glucose went down, insulin went down, their pancreases started working right again. They had a serum lactate level. You're not supposed to have a lactate level. That means your mitochondria are dysfunctional if you have a lactate level. Okay? Their lactate cleared. Everything got better. Most importantly, for the first 5 days of that 10-day window, the kids were obnoxious. The parents would complain to us, my kid is a disaster. And the reason was because of withdrawal. They were withdrawing off sugar, withdrawing off fructose. And then, like, Moses, the sky cleared and the kids started concentrating better. They started doing better in school. The parents noticed they were less irritable. The teachers noticed they weren't nuisances or trouble in the school anymore. The kids noticed. They said, it's the first time my head hasn't been in the clouds. 5 days. 5 days. And in 10 days, we could see all of the metabolic benefits. Even though they maintained their weight, even though they maintained their calories.
Sounds like a bit of a scandal.
Ahora que ya sabes bastante más sobre el azúcar y cómo afecta, sobre todo a tu salud, déjame en comentarios qué va a hacer al respecto. ¿Va a eliminar? ¿Va a reducir? Me interesa mucho saber lo que va a hacer y te leo en comentarios. Dicho esto, ahora me gustaría saber qué es lo más importante que te ha llevado de esta entrevista, qué es lo que más te ha impactado. Me encantaría pedirte un favor, suscríbete porque quiero que me ayudes a ayudar a más personas con mi contenido y solo es posible si tú me ayudas. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Nos vemos en el próximo video, familia.